Welcome back, everyone. It's good to see you at Einstein's Eyes. I'm your co-host, Carl Rosen. I'm a board-certified, fellowship-trained oculoplastic surgeon and neuro-ophthalmologist in Anchorage, Alaska for 31 years. I'm with my co-host, friend, and former co-resident at Albert Einstein College of Medicine, Jon Ditkoff. Jon?
Hi, nice to see you guys. Welcome to our channel. Hopefully you've been watching other videos. I'm a general ophthalmologist specializing in cornea. Been in practice for 31 years. Worked with Carl at Albert Einstein Montefiore residency program, hence Einstein's Eyes, and looking forward to talk today.
You're probably going to hear this and wonder, what am I talking about? But have you ever tasted music? Or maybe felt the room spin when someone slammed a door or shut a drawer or a car door or heard a beep, or realized you can't picture your mom's face or your wife or your husband's face or your pet's face when you close your eyes. Now, if you said yes to any of those, welcome to the strange phenomenon of brain miswiring, perhaps. But today on Einstein's Eyes, we're diving into three fascinating brain phenomena: synesthesia, the Tullio Phenomenon, and aphantasia. Now, it sounds like Fantasia, the animated Disney movie that was made with the dancing hippos and elephants, but no, aphantasia. And trust me, by the end of this, you're going to look at your senses a little differently. Let's start with synesthesia, when your senses collide with the outside world. So this is when your sense gets miswired or the wires gets crossed. Now, maybe, for example, Thursdays are always blue. Mondays are always pink.
That's amazing.
Tuesdays are always red. Or the word blue tastes like cinnamon. It's not magic. You're not having a purple haze flashback. But about 4% of people really live like this. I don't know. Jon, have you ever had a patient who complained about that?
That's why we're doing this topic. I had a patient come in about a year ago and describe this phenomenon. He was at a concert, and it wasn't quite like this, but he was at a concert where the music, he was listening to music, and all of a sudden he started to see colors, and he wasn't taking LSD. I mean, that can happen when you do take LSD, and maybe it causes this, but he was not on drugs. He was pretty straight, and he basically started to experience this. He came to my office for an eye exam, wondering what happened. I had never heard of it. I've been in practice 31 years. This was a year ago. I had never heard this phenomenon. So I looked it up and we talked about it. I checked his eyes. His eyes were perfectly healthy. He's an otherwise absolutely normal guy. I mean, it's not affecting him in any other way, but this had happened to him. And I think it can continue to happen. He can almost elicit it if he listens to music in a certain way.
Here's a representation, or an attempt at a representation of what this can be like. Imagine you have synesthesia. You are at a concert and you do hear music that creates colors. Or I remember hearing about a mathematician that saw colors when he did math. Bizarre behavior that happens in a very small subset of people. We don't really understand.
But nothing wrong with it, nothing bad.
But the occipital lobe, the visual cortex, is working overtime, doing extra work in creating this phenomenon.
Now, Billie Eilish, who's a pretty well-known star, I don't know if you listen to her music, Carl, she reported years ago that when she plays music, she sees colors and she sees images. Some people see movement as well. It really depends on the person.
There is a phenomenon called palindromic phenomenon, where you can see an image pass across the screen like a map, like a icon moves across the screen on a computer. But let's move on to the Tullio phenomenon. This was when sound can make you dizzy. This sounds like science fiction, but imagine a patient comes in and says, whenever the vacuum cleaner runs, the room spins. Again, this is Tullio phenomenon. We actually have a reason for this. It happens if there's a tiny hole in the bone of your inner ear called the superior semicircular canal, and there's a dehiscence. So it's called the superior semicircular canal dehiscence. So loud noises or even pressure changes make the fluid in the canal slosh around and send the brain into a fake spinning signal. The connection here is wild because if we put a tuning fork near your ear and that hole is there, your eyes might start bouncing, or what we call in neuro-ophthalmology nystagmus. It's the vestibular ocular reflex getting triggered and doing its thing. Now, the good news is that surgeons can patch that hole, and over 90% of people get their world to stop spinning. On to the third phenomenon that we're going to talk about today, aphantasia. So life without a mind's eye. This is when your eyes, when they are closed, see nothing. There's no mental pictures. There's no mind's eye, as it is commonly known. About 1 to 3% of people live like this, and they never realize it until someone asks them to imagine a beach, a wave, a seagull flying over the sand at the beach, or imagine an apple or a pineapple, something like that. And here's the twist. There was a 2024 study that showed that people with aphantasia don't just lack pictures in their head, they also have a muted brain response to sounds. So that there's a linkage, there's an association. So their brain's visual area doesn't light up even when they hear something that normally triggers imagery by imaging techniques like MRIs or PET scans or other radiographic or radiologic techniques that can elicit those responses. Basically, if I say ocean waves and your brain goes full, IMAX with sunsets and surfers and seagulls and all that, congratulations. You don't have aphantasia. But if it's silent and dark, you might be one of those rare folks.
Do they know? I mean, I don't even know how much it's been studied, like MRIs of the brain looking at why that is, or no?
Not that I'm aware of, John. I mean, this is ongoing. There's data, but there was a nice article in 2024. What have we learned today? There are some brains that mix up their senses, a strange phenomenon. Some ears make you dizzy when they hear sound. Some minds are completely pictureless. If you are a synesthete with Tullio, who's also aphantastic, email us because we'll do an episode on you.
Yeah, it's very cool.
This was a little different for Einstein's eyes and for our channel today, but it was ignited by a patient that Jon had, and we wanted to talk about it. And it's a very interesting topic, a little different. In any event, I hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for being here, guys, and we will see you on the next one.
Have a great night.